right, let me get my Canva open and share with you guys. So I am Cassie Spears. I have been with EXP for just a little bit over 3.5 years. I have a small team in Fort Worth, Texas area, and we're a self-contained team. So it's myself, my husband. I work listings, he works fires. Then we have a transaction coordinator who's also a marketing expert. And then we have our son, who's a buyer's agent and a leasing specialist. And then we have our nephew, who runs our property management, which is a completely separate business than everything. So, I'm just going to go over something really quick that you might know about. It might seem trivial, but I think it's something that gets slept on, and I think it's free, which is nice. We love to end the quarter with some free stuff. So it doesn't cost anything to do. It just takes a little bit of time. A little bit of planning makes it go further, but I will get into the presentation now. So I am going to talk about Specifically, I'm going to talk about Facebook and Instagram stories. So stories are the items that pop up in the top of your feeds on each apps. And the really cool thing about stories is that you can really start to show your authentic self. So we, of course, all know that there's posts. We have posts that are permanent. They stay on your grid. They are usually more polished, curated, and thought out. Takes more time. This has, could be a photo. It could be a carousel of photos. It could be a video. You really want to polish your caption for these. This is a great way to show your brand. It showcases, your identity, your listings, your testimonials, and your long-term content that you want to stay just for everyone to see. We like to call this your resume. So this is the part of your grid that you probably look at, and the people that are going to hire you most likely have looked at too. So this is where the judgments on what you put out are going to really show up. Now, the cool thing about stories is that this is something that is more authentic. It's also temporary. So if you don't like doing videos and you're practicing videos, or you don't like showing yourself, you can pop some stories in and they go away in 24 hours. Now, I'm going to show you later on how to keep those stories going live, especially the ones that you like, in a different portion of your online platform. So with stories, again, like I said, they're temporary. These are often casual. What's going on in your life? What's going on behind the scenes? What we know is that people are nosy. Your competitors are nosy, and then also your clients are nosy. So the good thing about stories is it shows a little bit different side than maybe they get to see when they, deal or interact with you when buying or selling real estate. And it really does show that you actually are more than just a real estate agent. So they are often less polished. So they really make you look authentic. You want to think of being authentic over perfection. It doesn't have to be perfect because, again, it can go away if you choose for it to go away. Now, we also can do interactive things on stories. Now, you need to pay attention to which platform you're on. You want to make sure that if you want to do a poll or a question or something like that, you want to stay on those platforms. So if you want to make a poll, you need to make that in your Instagram story. And then if you want to make one for Facebook, you don't want to share that over because it doesn't pull over the right way. You'll have to do the poll in the other platform like Facebook. Now you can do links, and links will travel. If it's a link, I usually will post it separately so it does authentically go to each place quickly that the link is meant to go to. But these can be little things like who do you think's going to win? If you have a college team in your area, the football game this weekend, high school, football, you're going to think about fall things like what do people like? Do they like fall scents? Just different things like that you're going to put in these type of polls. And the cool thing about the polls is that's where the DMs start. When somebody responds back, you're going to get a separate notice. This person, commented on it. And then you could start a DM conversation from there. That's the cool thing about if somebody likes your story. If somebody likes your story, then it's going to open that direct message portion of your app so that you can start the conversations. And again, the really cool thing about stories and the really thing that I want to touch on here is that sometimes we just forget to do them. We get too busy. But if you really have a plan like I do, you can kind of get your stories knocked out and, really show a good portion of the business that you want to show. So what we think about when we think about posts, we think about your brand billboard. If somebody's going to shop you, that's what they're going to look at. Stories are more like are for conversions. It's for your DMs. It's to get, people looking and also, feeling that need that people have to know things about other people. Now, what I personally share, and I'm sure, you can do what you want with this, but I like to do a 70-30 rule. So 70% is going to be personal or lifestyle, meaning that could be things like showing your face before you're, going to an appointment or whenever you're, at your son's football game. I know I keep talking about football. It's Texas where I'm at. So, you want to also think about like your family moments. If you're going to, a pumpkin patch or if you're visiting a farmer's market, those things are personal, but they're also community related too. So I like to look at the 70-30. So 70% of that's your personal lifestyle, local spots that you like, just that kind of a wheelhouse. And then your 30% is business. So this is where you can share your listings, where you can put your client testimonials. Hopefully you're getting those. You also could put tips and different kinds of, different things that pop up in the market, more top of mind awareness, like if the rates changed or if the feds have a meeting or if, you got a statistic from NAR that was really good and you wanted to pop that in, you can throw that into a story. This is what's going to position you as an expert. It's so in your field because you're posting what's happening in real time, but then also while showing that human side of you that's kind of mixed in there throughout your day. Because again, we want people to realize that we are real estate agents as a job and a career, but we're also human beings. So again, whenever you want to think about personal versus business, so you want to be relatable in these stories. You want to make sure that you're showcasing what you really like. If you like to have coffee, post your coffee. If you have a nice patio and you like to sit on it, post that. Pets are really popular. I personally have 3 dogs that come to work with us, and so we like to show them a lot. And a lot of people, when they see me, they'll say something about the dog or something that we post. The really cool thing about stories for me personally is that it helps me not only attract people, but stay in contact with the people that I already do business with, my already clients, friends, families. It just really keeps me at top of mind at all times for them. So you want to also, if you have local restaurants, local events, those are really big things that are hyper focused to your community and really show off if somebody's looking into your community or somebody's living there and they want to get information. They know that your page is going to supply them with local events and things like that that are happening in the community. Also a day in the life. Now, I'm not a big one of getting ready and doing this and that, your whole steps. I'm talking about if you're on your way to a listing appointment or if you just negotiated a great deal for your clients or, you got an inspection repair list in and you're ready to tackle your contractors, just, talking about the things that we do as real estate, but also showcasing that we're a person doing those things. If you have struggles, post your struggles. It doesn't always have to be win. Doesn't always have to be rainbows and butterflies. If you're, going through a little bit of something and you resonate, post it. You never know. You might resonate with somebody else in that same manner. Again, personals, you could do the polls and the quick questions. Again, the reason why I like this stuff is because it gets the DMs going. That's where the conversations go. They'll be more likely to interact with future posts if they've already started that thread of conversation with you. Listings, again, what I talked about just a minute ago, for business, you want to post your listings, your open houses, your market tips, your success stories, and some of your failures. Put some of that stuff in there too to make you relatable. Behind the scenes, meeting stagers, photographers, at a showing, finishing up with a showing. When you have a closing, we make really cool closing baskets for our clients, and we always post those. And that always seems to get a lot of interest too. Again, it's just keeping you in their feed. That feed it's at the top of most devices. And so it doesn't get messed up down in the bottom with people scrolling and things like that. It's that top of mind. And then the more consistently you post these stories, the more that people will consistently go to your stories specifically, knowing that you are going to post something that's probably going to resonate with them. So, how often? This is the big kicker. So, you got to do it every day, even on Saturday and Sunday. Now, Saturday and Sunday, you can plan it if you want to, or you can be more, it depends on what you're doing. Say you have a weekend full of appointments, then show that off for the weekend. And then the next week you don't have, a whole lot going off. Go do something or, showcase at your house doing something, just showing, show up even on the weekends. And then that's where you can get that personal side. So when I say mix it up with a 70-30, it might be as a Saturday where you go to an event and the whole day is personal. Well, then, if your goal is to put 10 out there, then only just do 7 out there and then don't worry about doing any of the personal. Now, your weekdays are going to have more of your business stuff going as well. You're more able to show, what you're doing on the day to day, hopefully, if you're out there doing work. But it's just getting that balance between it, but it's every day. I'm telling you, you've got to post the stories every day. Now, do you need to have 10 every day? You should, but you don't have to. You can do 3, 4, 5, however many. And you could start this by doing 3 or 4 and then build up to 10 or 12 or however you want to. But I know that personally, this is the thing that I probably get the most interactions with, the most people. When I see people, they know exactly what's going on. Sometimes it's kind of weird because you're like, how do you know that? And then you're like, oh yeah, because I tell everybody everything that I do. So that, but you're staying top of mind at all time. You're those people when they're thinking about real estate, they're thinking about you, but then they're also getting to know a different side of you, which is really nice because we do want to be authentic, and we all know it's a little bit curated. You probably, prefer not to post anything and just keep it moving, but take the time and post those stories. Number one, it's free. Doesn't cost you anything. You have a cell phone, make sure your cell phone is, logged into your Facebook and your Instagram. It's also easy for these stories to be shared between the platforms. So, you can post something to Instagram and you can set your page is kind of what we do to automatically post to Facebook. Now, if it's one of the polls or interactive, remember you want to post those separately so the actual poll works. But most of the time, most of your content can just be moved right over. You also want to remember that this disappears after 24 hours. So if you have some good stuff and you're like, man, this is going to be gone, you can set it to save your stories. And then you also can add your stories on Instagram to your highlight feature. And that where you can put just the ones that you want. You can put all of them however you want to do, but that will let people go back and see a progress if you've made one. And then also just learn more about you at a glance if they're really trying to shop you and pick you as their agent. Now, the other thing is that whenever visitors, they can instantly view things. So when you have stories going, they instantly see it. It's popping up. They're getting tips. You're always staying that top of mind. And then you're also showcasing your business, which is your resume. It's just how you should be getting your phone to ring and people to call you. So you're building credibility and trust because you're showing up every day. And that's why I say you do it on Saturday and Sunday because you need to show up every day. Every day is every day. And you also want to make sure that when you're giving these tips and tricks and advice and things like that, like get the good stuff. Don't just find something and post it, find something that somebody could be using or something that you learned. I mean, I've been selling real estate for 24 years and I still learn stuff all the time. So posting about that stuff is really important and it's going to build that credibility if you are getting that real, juicy, good, information that people could actually go out and use immediately. Stories are easy to navigate. I mean, people just swipe, they can hold it and stay on it. It just can naturally flow for them. It doesn't take a lot of work. So again, you're strengthening your brand by doing this because you're showing up consistently and then you can also, and you're also showing up with professionalism and also that you care because you are going to show that personal side of yourself. So they're going to see, that this person might be a mom or a grandma or a dad, lots of different other things about you that sometimes your clients don't get to see. And cross posts, I kind of went over this earlier. I probably should have waited until here, but basically the cross post is you make it in one of your platforms and you share it to the other. We usually make things in Instagram and then share them to Facebook automatically. Again, if it is a poll, question, or anything that's going to require them to react to it, you need to make sure you post it in each platform separately. This boosts your visibility because there could be, not a whole lot of traffic going to your personal Instagram, for instance, because you're not running ads, you're not pumping anything out. So you're just not getting a whole lot of engagement. We will get about 150 to 200 views on the stories daily, all day, every day, every day of the week. We just consistently get views on the story. And then that's where the DM and the questions and like even clients, it's nice. Like when clients reach out to me, like it's like reverse prospecting their agent over here. So it's just kind of nice to, get those sweet messages, from people that you've worked with in the past. And then they also feel like they know you and they caught up. Like me personally, I've been selling real estate since I was 19. So I have clients that I've sold houses to 20 years ago and 5 years ago, and they've got to see my journey in between. And, when I meet with them, they tell me that they're proud of me, and it makes me feel good because I have worked really hard on my business. And the reason why they know it is because I've told everybody how hard I've worked on my business, and I showed them through my actions as my business has grown. So, last is that you want to on Facebook, there's that option to share memories. So you can have like a post that you shared a year ago, 5 years ago, 13 years ago for some of us that have been on there that long. And so those will show up as memories. So if you, for instance, you make a poll or you've made something, you could reuse the next holiday or the next time, they will come up because you've posted them. They will come up. So every day I have a list of stories that if I was really searching for content, I could just throw one of those up into a post as if it was the first time. And as many times as I post, there's not going to be a whole lot of people that have seen that more than once. They're going to think they're seeing it for the first time. So that's a cool little feature that Facebook has, with that memories option. It's also cool to share your memories. Like, say you posted about selling a house a year ago and you don't want to make a separate post, just shoot it in your story and share it and say, oh yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, so great to be your realtor. Can you believe it's been 1 year? And just post it. Tag them if you feel brave. Last is that I kind of glossed over this. The stories can go right to your highlighted section. This is really cool because if you go on a Instagram feed, there's a section usually under your name and your information that's your highlight feed, and they can click on there and they can see past stories. They can see, and say you made 3 or 4 stories, you might put 1 a day in there, but it really, 1, shows your progress, and 2, it also lets them know you at a glance. Like you can click through it really fast. It's really cool. And again, this is doing all the things that we talked about, building trust. It's easy to navigate and strengthen your brand. And I just did that slide twice, so y'all got extra education on that one. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions about this, feel free to DM me. It's at Cassie Spears Team on all of our platforms. And thank you so much.
Thanks, Cassie. That was great.
All right.
Let me know if you want to schedule any more days.
Yeah, I scheduled with some other stuff here in Texas locally, so I have mine for this year done, but I get before for next year too.
Okay, awesome.
All right. Thanks.
All right. See you later.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.